Now, canes and guide dogs are aids that have stood the test of time, but nowadays innovative technology is being utilised to make day-to-day life easier for blind and visually impaired people. Colin Baker joins us now to preview some of the very latest tech developments, along with Amy Hines-Fitzpatrick, who was born legally blind. Good morning to you both. You're both very welcome. Colin, you're welcome as always. Nice to meet you for the first time, Amy.
Nice to meet you, Mark. Thanks for having me.
Now, an unusual item for our tech slot, but a very relevant one, and we're going to start with something that has been life-changing, because I just had a quick word with Amy there. This is called the OrCam 2.0 Artificial Intelligence Seeing Camera. Now, Amy is actually wearing it at the moment. People can probably see it's on the right-hand side of her glasses there. Colin, explain what this is and what it does.
We often talk about technology. I get excited about gaming apps and the likes. This is very much life-changing for Amy. And what it is this camera here that's connected up to her regular pair of glasses has artificial intelligence built in. So it's seeing for Amy. It can therefore read newspapers, signs. It can even be trained to recognise faces. So when Amy looks at you, it'll say there's a man, middle-aged, standing before you. When she picks up the paper, it'll read out the headlines and the key points, and it'll drill down into the text, and it calls it out very clearly and discreetly into her ear. So it means that she can see signs, menus, and she can be independent.
And Amy, none of this, without the glasses or without this aid, none of this would mean anything to you. You wouldn't be able to see it or make it out, or...
No, without the OrCam My Eye, I would not be able to pick up a newspaper and read it. I would not be able to see menus in restaurants or check the prices of items in supermarkets. So for me, it works on both a professional and a personal level, and it's always in my handbag. It's been completely life-changing for me.
Now, by the way, you have a very high-powered job. What do you do?
Oh, well, thank you very much. I'm the Corporate Engagement Executive for the National Council for the Blind. So my role really is about getting more companies engaged with us to invest in our mission and our beliefs, both financially but also supporting us with professional skills volunteering.
Which means that you're dealing with the corporate sector, you're dealing with heavy hitters, people whose time is valuable, and, with the best will in the world, sentiment goes out the window. Yes. You need to get to the point. They're not going to make any allowances for the fact that you have a disability. They may say they will, but in actual fact they won't. So you have to be able to compete on exactly the same level as your peers.
And that's what it is. It's the ability to compete now alongside fully sighted people. It's levelled the playing field for me, so I can do anything that you can do, but only because I've had access to the OrCam My Eye.
Right, which you would think this is miraculous. You would also think it's probably very expensive.
This wasn't possible 5 years ago. The kind of intelligence built into this isn't dependent on a mobile phone or an internet connection, so we're not connected to Wi-Fi. All the intelligence is built into this camera.
Can we get a quick demonstration of it? Because we have a microphone here which will actually give us a chance to hear the information that's being relayed to Amy.
Amy's just going to pick up the paper there, and we're just going to listen into what she can hear.
Skipping text cut from the right.
So Amy's just pointing at the text.
Social media firms told to crack down on grooming. Artificial intelligence could identify predators.
Well, there you go. So this was the left column of the front page of the Ireland edition of the Times this morning.
Yeah, and it will read, column by column as well, and you can stop it where you want and then go back to it a little bit later. So there's a huge amount of flexibility with the OrCam My Eye in that you can use it for exactly what you want. You don't have to sit there and read the entire thing.
Okay.
You can move on to the next.
You were telling me a story about in a shop, and there was special offers on sandwiches, and there was just an example of... Can you tell me a bit about that?
Yeah, so it's a really simple thing that I suppose everyone who's fully sighted will take for granted, but you go into a shop and you look at the deli counter. I've never been able to see the offers overhead. To me, they're just, nondescript posters. So when I first got the OrCam, I ran up for my lunch and I just started taking pictures to see what it could actually capture. So it was telling me all the different offers that were there. So you got a wrap and a packet of crisps and a drink for maybe €4 or €5. That, to me, I've never been able to do that before.
So it's seeing signs, road signs, and promotions in shops, shop signs.
Yeah.
Also indicative of what we take for granted and what is a struggle for you or not available to you before this device. How much are these things?
They're north of €3,000.
Okay.
So it's very expensive technology, very, very cutting edge. Obviously, it's a lot for you and I, but if it's life-changing, then it might as well be 299.
Is there any, just very quickly, are any breaks in terms of your Med 1, Med 2 on these devices?
Well, how I have access to the ORCAM is because I'm employed, the Department of Social Protection will actually cover the cost of it for my employer because they see it as an equaliser in the context of the work environment.
Which means that could be available to other people in your
Absolutely.
situation. Right, moving on to the second item. Now, this is the Seeing Artificial Intelligence from Microsoft. It's an app and it's only available on iOS.
Yeah.
Which is what? Explain
Well,
what it
iOS
does.
is what's on your Apple devices, and what Microsoft have developed this technology. It's called Seeing AI, and it's on a similar strain to the ORCAM. And what it's doing is it's using the camera on your phone and the intelligence built into the app. This is web connected, so this is dependent on being connected to the Wi-Fi.
The
or
ORCAM
the 3G.
isn't.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
So it does rely on good, strong signal. But what it does is it describes what it sees in front. So we could again read text. We could look at, say, for example, yourself. So we'll pick out the scene here.
Scene preview.
So we're going to check you out and what's in front of you. Let's see what it says.
Probably a man and a woman sitting at a table.
Yeah, so there we go. Probably,
Probably,
a man.
not quite
Only
sure.
probably. It's like a Carlsberg
Could go
ad.
either way.
Well, there have been doubts about me for a long time.
Well, Microsoft's not sure either.
Okay, this app is free, by the way, isn't it?
Yes, exactly. And this
So
is
that's-
Microsoft's first, I suppose,
Okay.
foray into assistive, proper, real, cutting-edge assistive technology.
All right, okay. Listen, these are the two probably the most important ones. There are basic ones, like, for example, how you can...
Liquid level
liquid
sensor.
levels and stuff like that, which are fairly self-explanatory. I'm going to have to leave it at that, sadly.
Yeah.
But, Amy, thank you very much indeed, and thank you for coming in. That was absolutely fascinating. Maybe we'll do something in a bit more depth in future.
Brilliant, thanks, Mark.